Which of the two are most valuable to you? You can only have two. Beauty, money, or brains.
I love to show my shopping. I got a Batman corset, Harlequin dress, I got a Batman dress, I got a steampunk gas mask, and a steampunk one-eye goggle, and then steampunk jewelry.
Welcome to the show. I am that Chris Gore. This is PodCRASH. This is the show where you get to hear a different podcast every week in which I appear as a guest. You get to discover new shows. I get to talk about a variety of topics, except guess what? We're not doing that this week. This is our San Diego Comic-Con live special, live PodCRASH that was done at the recent San Diego Comic-Con. And I'm joined today by my friend, comedian Yoshi Obayashi.
Chris, you got it perfect.
I did it? I did well this time?
You know, most people don't even try to say my last name. But you said it in so many different, interesting ways.
I just remember what you said about oh my goshi.
Yeah.
Now I've never forgotten that. So we were at the San Diego Comic-Con, and we should talk about, before we actually introduce the audio which was recorded at our live show, which was last Thursday, we should talk about just the experience of going to Comic-Con. I've been going for years. This is the most people. I was talking to a cab driver who I realized after I got in the cab, it was sort of
What's
pointless.
his name, Abdul?
No, it was just, oddly enough, it was a guy who spoke English, white guy. White guy. So he was saying there are 200,000 people that were in town that weekend, the weekend over Comic-Con, and just all types of services, whether it's just like feeding everyone and, you know, disposing of garbage. It's just, it basically taxes the city for sure. It taxes the city's resources. Also happens to bring in, I think, over $1 billion in revenue to the city. But
frankly, San Diego was the most important city of the whole world. Literally, how important it was.
Oh, really?
In terms of, we don't make. America is about creating fantasy and our movies and television shows and comic book. We're a superpower, and San Diego Comic-Con really is the Super Bowl for the nerds, and I love the nerds. Well, I am one.
Well, but the thing is this: I would disagree with you about the Super Bowl, because the Super Bowl has a winner and a losers.
True.
And I feel like with Comic-Con, it's more like I don't know. It's just a pop culture orgy. But the thing is this: what I like about it is it's impossible having a Comic-Con experience. And most of my experience was shopping on the floor, and then doing my own panels and promotion of my own stuff, and the nightlife out in San Diego in the gas lamp.
Sure.
Which was cool. I got to go to Seth Meyers has a cartoon called The Awesomes that's going to be premiering on Hulu.
Did you meet him?
I did not get to meet him. I mean, I saw him. He was like a couple feet from me, but
Sure.
I don't know. I was too into the chicken and waffles that were being served at the party. But the cartoon looks pretty cool. It's just like a comedy about a bunch of superheroes.
Sure.
That'll be on Hulu. I do like that there's more original streaming content. I mean, the Emmy nominations came out, and Netflix got like, I think 15 nominations.
They're changing the business.
Changing the business for sure. So, which is cool. So,
and I think it's
respect.
good that they have another creative outlet, different. You know, it's great.
But what's cool about Comic-Con is that even if you're not able to get into Hall H, you'll hear about what happened at Hall H. I mean, what happens at Hall H does not stay at Hall H. It ends up on the internet pretty quickly, and or, you know, like Warner Brothers and Marvel were really good about, like, every time that they would have, like, something happen, the press release would go out. It was almost like pointless for journalists to be there, because everything that was announced at any panel, any news, like the new Avengers movie, which the Avengers movie, I believe it's called The Avengers: The Age of Ultron, which I don't know. It's too early to judge. I'm sure that they're still working on the script for it and the details, but I guess Hank Pym is not involved in the Age of Ultron's origin, or in Ultron's origin, which is a big point of controversy. But
who's the creator of Buffy?
Joss Whedon.
I don't question that guy. I mean, he's amazing.
I don't know. I think that I prefer the DC movies because I think that they take a more serious approach.
Yeah.
I think the Marvel movies are fun and the DC movies are darker and serious in terms of the superhero genre. So my preference is the darker DC movies, but I haven't seen a Marvel movie I didn't have fun seeing and didn't enjoy in that sense. I just don't think they necessarily hold up after repeat viewings. Iron Man still is, I hold up as my favorite of all the Marvel movies, but it's cool to everything that happens in Hall H you hear about. So what I loved is...
How do you explain to someone who's never been there what Hall H is like?
Hall H holds about 6,500 people, and what's disheartening about it is you have to wait sometimes the night before just to get into Hall H. Often sitting and watching presentations by studios, showing you things that you have no interest in, so that you can see the thing that you want to see. Say you want to see the Doctor Who panel, but you've got to sit through CBS's panel about their new Alice in Wonderland.
Because once you leave, you can't go back.
Once you leave, you can't go back.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, you got to stay in the line again. So.
Exactly. So you're
some of those fans stay there all day with food.
Exactly. I always joke what shitty panels are you going to sit through? The ones that to sit through to see the one thing you have to see. I just think that they should section off an area at Petco Park under tents, have it fit about 20,000 people, and then they wouldn't have those Hall H lines. They wouldn't have the public safety issue of people spending the night, but whatever. Every time I feel like I complain about Comic-Con, I hate to hear myself do it because I just sound like back in the day, I sound like some old geezer complaining. And the whole thing is this.
But I think that's a good idea. To use the baseball stadium.
It's a good idea. I'm not the only one that suggested. A lot of people talked about it. But the thing is that ultimately what I think is fun about Comic-Con is at night, in the evenings, when I meet my friends at the hotel bars, or we go to parties together, we hang out. Everyone has a different experience. So I'll say,
oh boy, did I have a different experience.
Exactly. We'll get to that. But I mean, what's cool is that I'll talk to my friend who went, and was there when Zack Snyder announced that they're doing a Superman Batman movie. It's untitled at this point. Basically, they just...
Did you know about that too?
I didn't know about that before they announced it, but it makes a lot of sense to me, and I love that they read a quote from Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns to introduce basically it's just the sort of transposing this new Man of Steel logo against an altered Batman logo, and then just the year 2015. That's all. They've got a date, and they've got Superman. I'm sure it's going to be something where they, meet, they become friends, there's a misunderstanding.
Sure.
Batman beats the crap out of Superman, and then they end up on the same team. That is the outline for that story. So, which will ultimately lead to Justice League. But what I love is just meeting up with friends, and everyone had a different experience, meaning someone went to this panel that I didn't get to go to, or I saw this other panel, or I saw this one booth, or I was, I picked up some exclusive, or someone needed this one thing. It's I'll get that T-shirt for you. It's almost like your friends kind of you regroup in the evenings, and then you go out the next day, each have different experiences, regroup again to kind of discuss those experiences. So it's sort of a mass, it's sort of an experience that we're all sharing. And it's I don't know. You can tell from my voice. I got convention voice on the second day. I was sick for a lot of it, and I think you can tell I'm kind of struggling to keep my energy level up, even to just do this intro to our panel, which was insane. We'll get to that after we get to our sponsors this week.
Chris,
I'm going to get to this because the thing is, I don't think we have too many sponsors on PodCRASH. So if you want to support PodCRASH, go to dollarshaveclub.com/Chris. Go to GoDaddy.com, enter the code at checkout, enter PodCRASH, you get a discount. And if you go to CelebritiesPoop.com, these are the sponsors of PodCRASH. I'm trying to get these quick. If you go to CelebritiesPoop.com, you can get my comedy album and book. It's a book which is a page-for-page parody of the book Everyone Poops, which includes a download sticker. You get a code which gives you the full album, 50 minutes of comedy, stand-up that I did at the Phoenix Comic-Con in May. And then you also get a bonus track and the PodCRASH fan club kit just by going to CelebritiesPoop.com. Those are our sponsors. Dollar Shave, if you want to get razors at a cheap price, go to dollarshaveclub.com/Chris. GoDaddy.com, enter the offer code PodCRASH. Also go to SideshowNetwork.tv and discover more shows like PodCRASH. I still think this is too long. How can I do this in a tweet? Let's get back to San Diego.
By the way, please buy Chris's book because I saw it. It's very good.
We had a party. Okay, this was cool. We had a party.
And bonus, Your daughter did an amazing job.
My daughter did the artwork for the book,
and I also heard your comedy, and it's very, very good.
Oh, well, thank you, Yoshi. It means a lot coming from you. I'm really excited for fellow comedians to hear because it is different. I mean, there's some storytelling. There's also just stuff that's just straight up jokes, and there's I would say that a lot of the humor is at my expense. So
and then you did a really great job connecting with the audience. But I like the fact that you left some interesting personal stories. I mean, I don't. You need to.
Pretty dark too.
Pretty dark, and I love stories like that.
Okay, let's not get into it. But we had a party, and what was cool was we had a RSVP list. Like if you went to our Facebook page, facebook.com/PodCRASH, you could RSVP for the party. But I invited everyone from the panel. You just needed to have the password. The password was PodCRASH. You could get into the party. And it was food and drinks and a goodie bag, and it was sponsored by Nerdular, who I really have to thank Gurley from Nerdular, and Rex Edlund. And
your daughter had all her artwork.
She had all her artwork.
Beautiful artwork.
47 pieces of art of celebrities pooping, including, I'm not gonna give it away, but there is a former colleague of mine. There's a former colleague of mine from G4 that is actually in the book. And I'm not going to say who. Please don't say it, Yoshi. I'm not going to say who. There's a legend in the back of who all the celebrities are. I'm not going to say who. I think that this person would take it as a compliment. But I'm not going to say who it is. You have to buy the book. I mean, there's a couple. You can look at some of the art at celebitiespoop.com. You'll see some of the pages. But anyways, the party was a blast. And what was cool was it was like, it's, industry VIPs, friends of mine, and then anyone who's just a fan. Who, contingent upon capacity. We had to we didn't exactly turn people away, but we did have to regulate the door.
And it was very festive in there. I mean, it was fun. A lot of drinking.
It was, it was like not the type of, definitely not a hoity-toity party. It was just sort of like, hey, let's come out and drink at my place. Let's just hang out. And so it had that vibe. And I really got to thank the people from Comic Book Live, Tommy Bechtel and Josh and Patrick and Kia and Derek Reed. Like they were there helping bartend and just keeping the festive scene.
Sure.
But we'll get to that when we start talking about the panel. But Comic-Con, I'm still reading stuff of and looking at I got to post all my pictures too. From Comic-Con. It's definitely something that takes me almost like a week to recover from. And I'm really sad. It's one of those things where it's like, I wish that it was still going on now. You know what I mean? I miss getting up every day and getting excited for what panels were happening, or if I can't make this, my friend's in the panel, he'll tell me what happened, and I love it. Seeing other people's pictures on their phones and video that they shot.
It was sad when I woke up this morning.
It's like when Christmas is over. It's like midnight on Christmas Day when Christmas is ending. I really got sad, and I always every year I say goodbye to Comic-Con.
Yeah.
I also actually want to thank the people who went to celebitiespoop.com and ordered the book. These are people who ordered the book early. It's shipping out tomorrow. Matthew Garrison, Nick Jones, Zachary Flores, Darren Shapiro, Anthony Maltby, Ryan McDonald, Tom Golnitz, Christopher Favreau, Elizabeth Moran, Scott Koss. These are people who have early. I'm giving them shout outs for supporting me and ordering Celebrities Poop. Thank you to you. Your books are shipping out tomorrow. Thanks, guys. And I'll be signing all those books to you. Okay, so let's talk about the panel.
Sure.
It was kind of a disaster for a couple reasons. I blame myself.
Well, because I was on it.
No,
it's like Napoleon invading Russia.
I blame myself in some ways for a couple things. One, I was so focused on the party and all these other things, all the other details that I had to attend to, getting books delivered and goodie bags and this.
You had a lot of responsibilities, Chris.
A lot of responsibilities, which I should have delegated out. So that was a mistake. I should have delegated those things out. So I really had kind of a rough outline of what was going to happen at the panel. The panel, we had yourself, Adrianne Curry, my friend comedian from Big Time Rush on Nickelodeon, Stephen Kramer Glickman, who has a comedy album himself. You can find it on iTunes.
Very talented guy.
Amazon, talented, fun guy. And what happened is basically the cast of Comic Book Live, Patrick Ian Moore, Derek Reed, Tommy Bechtel, Kia McCarty, they crashed my panel, and we played some games. Some of them were kind of fun. We did this dating game with Adrianne Curry where she didn't know who she was interviewing, but the audience knew. They basically...
May I say those guys in improv, it's a very difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
But they do it in a way that looks easy, but it's difficult. And there's very professional, very funny groups of guys. I'm amazed that they could do that. I'm terrified by it.
I really loved what they were able to put together for the show.
Sure.
They put together these skits and bits that some of them I participated in. We did a fanfic theater. We did some Superman fanfic, where what happens is, just to explain it, Giselle B from the Defective Geeks, love Gizzy B. We should do a fanfic theater panel at Comic-Con. I think next year we'll pitch a fanfic theater panel. But Giselle from the Defective Geeks brought us some fanfic. She plays the narrator, and then we play characters from the world of Superman.
Yes, we did.
And the people from Comic Book Live, as we were reading, which the thing is, we should note that I do not read these in advance. You don't know what you're going to say.
First of all, not only I didn't know what I was going to read, I didn't know I was going to do that, and you know I don't like it. That was more stressful than when I got my INS interview. I was dreading it. Why do you do it? You know that kind of stuff makes me uncomfortable.
I loved it. So, but see, part of the fun is actually making you uncomfortable. So we haven't read this, and it's basically a parallel universe Superman story. You played Lex Luthor. I believe I played General Zod. And
you were good too. Very good.
It was fun. And Adrianne Curry played Slave Master Feora, which was interesting.
Fantastic.
Adrianne was great. She's so you cannot underestimate how she sounds sexy. She's sexier in real life. Anyways, so
and Stephen Glickman is a theater trained actor.
Oh, he played. Funny thing about Stephen Glickman, he should talk about this. I should get him on the podcast as a guest. Stephen Glickman played Shrek in the Broadway play version of Shrek.
They signed a contract and everything.
It never made it to Broadway.
That's right.
So they did songs, full rehearsal. There's a video of it that exists, but it never actually went to Broadway. They developed the whole thing. It was like his job for a year. Can you imagine working on something like that for a year and they completely shelved the thing?
Well, they compensated him very well, though.
Well, yeah. He's got no complaints on that, but he doesn't even have. He's never published even a photo of himself in the Shrek makeup, which apparently took like over 10 hours to do. But Stephen Kramer Glickman was hilarious on the show. So you will hear the audio from the live show. I just will say that it is live. It's not perfect. There are some starts and stops just because I get all these plugs in at the beginning. Maybe I should just cut that out and just cut right to the show happening. But I really hope that you guys enjoy this. A warning, though.
Oh, it's a huge warning.
A huge warning that...
It's not for kids.
This is definitely not for kids, and I feel like
I don't want to get in detail, and I'm sure you'll figure out. I know, Chris. First of all, this is your show.
Do you want to talk about it after or before?
I would say before a little bit, so they figure out right away. But when you brought this question at me,
yes,
and you asked me to do something, it felt like that scene from the last episode of Soprano when the black goes up and ends, and then my reaction is, what the fuck? Like, what? I had no idea. I thought we were going to talk about Star Wars. I like talking about horrible stuff. It's like that scene from Pretty Woman with Julia Roberts' character. Remember, they dressed her up really nice, and they were in some fancy party, and the guy asked how much for the night. She doesn't care that she's a hooker and dressed up in hooker outfit in Sunset Boulevard, but when you put her in a fancy place without her hooker clothes up, she was in a disadvantaged position, right? Situation. So I feel like when you asked me that question, it was really awkward. It was really awkward.
We should talk about it after.
Yes.
There's something very Yoshi. I prompted Yoshi to bring up something uncomfortable, knowing it might backfire. It did.
It did.
It did.
It looked like a crystal meth lab.
It was bad. So, here it is. Here's the live audio from the PodCRASH panel from San Diego Comic-Con from last week. If the audience, I think the audience enjoyed it. The audience enjoyed it. I will say that I think that they had a good time, and they had a great time at the party. I really have to thank everyone who was involved in that party and who came and participated. It was great. So here we are, San Diego Comic-Con PodCRASH live.
It's 7 o'clock. How is your Comic-Con? I'm Chris Gore. I am the host of a show called PodCRASH, which is available for free on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and your mobile devices through a free app that I just released. I encourage you to download that app and listen to previous episodes of this show, some in which Adrianne Curry has appeared on, and some of our other guests, Yoshi Obayashi, who you will see And I just want to know, how was your Comic-Con, folks? Mine is pretty awesome. It's because it's only Thursday, and it's already a clusterfuck. So thank you for taking time out of your Thursday night to come here and enjoy PodCRASH Live with some very special guests, comedians, friends of mine, and the show is kind of going to be flipped on me. The show will be crashed by a group of friends of mine, some colleagues, an improv comedy group called Comic Book Live, are going to be coming on stage and crashing my show, kind of flipping it around on me. But I want to let you know about a couple of things. First of all, you're all invited to my party tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, have a party at 525 5th Street. Write it down. 525 5th Street. And if you did not get a chance to RSVP, there's a secret word. There's a secret word that you can say at the door, and you can get into the party. The secret word is PodCRASH. The party is it's an album release party for my book and comedy album called Celebrities Poop. It's a book written by myself with illustrations by my lovely daughter, Haley Gore, who's here in attendance. Give her a big hand. So it's my first story to stand-up comedy. I hope you enjoy it. You'll all receive copies if you show up to the party tomorrow night, because I can't tell you how many times I've gone to Comic-Con and I could not get into parties. And I want to make sure that friends of mine, people who are into what I'm into, get to come to that party. So show up tomorrow. It'll be a lot of fun. Thank you. Now on tonight's show, we're going to answer some age-old questions. Some age-old questions. And I'm going to need the help of some friends of mine. Starting with, you know her as America's Next Top Model. You also know her as a cosplay goddess. If you've been going to Comic-Con, you've seen her. If you follow her Twitter, you are over 18. I hope you're over 18 if you follow her Twitter. Bring to the stage Adrianne Curry. Give her a big hand. Now, Adrianne, before we were getting ready to do the show, you went shopping. Can you show us what you got from your
I love to show my shopping.
This is one of the great things about Comic-Con is shopping.
Leather petticoat. Yeah. I got a Batman corset. Harlequin dress. I got a Batman dress. I got a steampunk gas mask and a steampunk one-eye goggle, and then steampunk jewelry, and there's a whole bunch of other shit that you guys are probably not fucking interested in. But, oh yeah, Star Wars belts and keychains and shirts, and then I got the R2-D2 looking dress because I was, whatever. Or, no, not R2. I almost got R2. Sorry. I don't even know what I bought anymore, but yeah, I went shopping and it was awesome because no one could tell me to stop because it's my money.
Let's bring onto the stage. I have a couple friends of mine who are comedians. I think that they're going to be standing. They're somewhere around here. They got to be close to the stage. Let's bring up. You know him from a Nickelodeon show, Big Time Rush. Right? Stephen Kramer. He's a stand-up comedian in his own right. He's appeared as a guest on a million podcasts. Stephen Kramer, Glickman, come on and sing.
Hey,
baby. Stephen and I met. We were on.
I want pets.
we were on this YouTube show. Have you ever heard of this show called Superpowered Beatdown?
Yeah, it was Bat in the Sun.
Bat in the Sun.
Name of the channel.
We were on a show where Batman battled Deadpool, and unfortunately, Steven got Deadpool.
It sucked, man. Fucking Deadpool can kick Batman's ass any day. Maybe not.
I might have to agree. I love Deadpool, but I love Batman.
No, Batman kicked his ass. He kicked his ass, man.
Deadpool puts his mental illness out there. Batman will own it, so he's more dangerous.
You know what? That sounds like my dad.
Whatever. You're driving me to smoke.
I'm just going to agree with Adrianne. And now we have returning champion from WonderCon. You recoiled at some of the things he said. People were embarrassed.
Sounds about right.
And he made a young boy cry. Let's bring him back. Yoshi Obayashi.
What do I say? Oh, okay.
Can I vine this shit? Or?
Yeah, we gotta vine
You can
this.
vine the panel.
Vine
You can
it
vine
somewhere.
whatever's going on.
Just vine it.
We encourage you to use your cell phones. You can reply to @PodCRASH Show or me @that Chris Gore. I'll retweet you guys later, all your pictures and all your hashtags. Right?
Vining. Hashtag.
But I would like to have an age-old question answered.
Sounds about right.
I think we're
Sounds
done
about right.
vining.
I want to answer an age-old question. An age-old question here. Beauty, money, brains. Pick two. Which of the two are most valuable to you? You can only have two. Beauty, money, or brains.
Beauty brings in money. I make a lot of money. So
So, oh my gosh, Adrianne, this is the secret. So you have beauty, you have the brains. I know because you're an expert WoW player, and we should talk about your show on Sunday nights.
oh yeah, I play World of Warcraft every Sunday on Elite Lounge Live, 1337loungelive.com. It's insane. It's kind of like Celebrity Big Brother. There's like 8 HD cameras, and I play on the Ultimate Game Machine, which is owned by Jace Hall. It has over 600,000 video games on it, and every single console you can think of, from Coleco to PS. It's amazing. It's the only reason I have sex with that man. It's outside of his office.
Do they have...
Give a big hand to the guy who has sex with Adrianne.
Yes. Well done, sir. Well done.
Shaking your hand, He does own the Ultimate Game Machine. I've been there and played it. It's amazing. It's every game made for every game system.
Do they have Golden Axe?
They have every
game? Every game.
They had Keith Courage on TurboGrafx 16. I was like, they had Antarctic Adventure for Coleco. And I was like, I just can't stop.
God, that sounds amazing.
So Adrianne, it seems like you kind of MacGyvered that. I mean, you figured it out. If you've got beauty, you can get money, and if you've got brains, I mean, you sort of.
I didn't actually.
You are
I just
kind of the whole
won this
package.
modeling competition. I had no idea I was pretty, but then all of a sudden money started coming in. I was like, oh, cool. So if I use my brain and I manipulate these people who think I'm stupid, and I let them think I'm stupid, I can pull more money out of them, and it worked.
Perfect.
So is that something you use as like a mutant superpower? Like you use
Only when I was fashion modeling, because they expect you to be literally like borderline vegetable brain dead.
But like, let's talk to Stephen Kramer Glickman, who, I mean, look, you're
Hey,
rich,
come on.
you're famous,
Adorable.
and you have dated some of those girls. You
I
dated
have.
Some of those girls.
I
Can I have
have.
some money?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, cool.
Done. Hey. I think, I'm definitely not brains, because if it wasn't for spell check, I wouldn't even have a resume. I was asking people their name today, and I had to read their name tag to spell everything correctly. I suck at. I'm not a very brainy person, but I've used my adorable looks and my ridiculous personality to get me some really crazy stuff. I don't know. I guess I don't know if you can call I got brains like street smart brains. Is that a thing?
Yeah. No, street smart brains always trump book smart brains, because all these mega nerds, I literally look at them like, are you 2 years old? They're walking out in traffic, and they're, what is this, a dangerous neighborhood? And there's people in the background ready to beat the crap. It's
Yeah.
So
you know what?
smart's good.
One of my buddies down here, he's incredibly smart. He passed his MCATs here at UCLA. Super smart guy, and he offered a girl, a homeless hitchhiker girl, a ride in our car one time.
Were you scared?
Yeah, I was terrified.
Obviously not brain.
She's like, do you have bath salts?
Yeah, like, and she was sitting. He let her sit in the back seat, and I was like, she's gonna kill us. While we're driving to like the hotel or graveyard that we're taking her to. It was so scary. It was terrifying. But it was like, he's like really smart, book smart, but street smart.
Now,
Yoshi got stabbed.
Yoshi, tell us, what is it like? I mean, in terms of like, if you've got to pick one of those three, two of those three. I picked you as the brains of this outfit. I could be wrong. Mm-hmm. If you can only pick two, and you have some theories on this. I know we've discussed this.
Well, first, Chris, never mind your dumb question. To Adrian's boyfriend, let me smell your fingers. Now.
Oh, wow.
That is implying that I have poor hygiene. Sir, fuck up.
No, it doesn't mean that. It's like credit report. I learned a lot. Right? Smell says a lot about you. Like you had a Mexican food this morning.
It was pretty good.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that's right. You worked for Nickelodeon. Screw those dumb kids. Anyway, you want to pick which out of what?
If you could pick two of the three. You know what? It is a dumb question. You had a really interesting theory, though, about genre fiction that I thought was fascinating. We were discussing before. We were talking about going to Comic-Con. You had this amazing...
You want to talk about that?
About genre fiction. Actually, well, I mean, should we?
I think so. Why not? You already started talking about it.
Yeah, you brought it up already. Come on.
Exactly. You had a really interesting theory about genre fiction and why it's so popular.
Well, I don't know if Chris mentioned from last podcast, I worked in adult business for 14 years. Porno for 14 years. Don't worry, I wasn't in front of the camera, but...
He was the fluffer.
But, LA's a very weird place because a lot of people say dating scene is very difficult, and part of the problem is I think a lot of guys are very considerate with the women's movement and things like that. But the problem is, with most women, you want equality in everything except in the bedroom, right? You want a guy to take control, right? You don't want some sissy.
If I wanted some sissy, I'd go back to dating chicks because I'm a big woman. I need like.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So.
Well, because it's evolution.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
We're looking for the big buck. Are you a big buck, Yoshi?
No. Look at me.
I'm a pretty big buck.
So what Chris was talking. So we were going back and forth, and women want equality in a lot of things, except in the bedroom. They want men to take control, and I think some guys are worried going overboard. And one of the things we were talking about, whether women like rape fantasy, right? A very touchy subject, obviously. And these days you can't write those things because people are uncomfortable. But do women like those? In my opinions, they do. But how do you sell rape fantasy?
Well, you gotta find out stuff. Like, I know a lot of chicks that dig it, but I've been raped, so that would be a PTSD nightmare.
Oh.
So I would never want to have rape fantasy, but I know lots of broads that want it because they've never had it and it seems exciting, and I don't judge anybody on their thing.
Yeah,
how do you find out?
Like, you should know that before you try to do anything.
Yeah, but how do you find out?
Like, they should tell you. They should bring it up.
How do you broach that? Like, so, by the way.
No, but
I like to have someone pretend to do things. Yeah, that doesn't seem like a good idea.
Well,
but
no,
the reason why Chris asked me is there's a genre where you could experience that fantasy for women, but most people don't realize it, which is the Twilight series with anything with vampires. Because if you look at the literature with anything with vampires, the words that they use, how the vampire ravished her or sucked her blood. I mean, like, if you look at the actual language they use, really, those are the same words that were used in rape literatures. But only reason why women could explore their fantasies is because they just say, well, it's only a fucking vampire. It's not a big deal. Okay, only two people who agree with me. All right.
I totally do. Dude, you just gave me another reason why Twilight is ruining America.
On that we can all agree.
Wow.
I agree.
turning
That
from
was really uncomfortable. All right.
turning from what is probably
Best setup
gonna be
to a punchline ever.
the most awkward panel here at Comic-Con. You guys can all talk to your friends and tell them, I was at this panel. It got really weird. There was this guy, Yoshi Obayashi. You ever heard of him?
You brought it up.
This guy, he kind of crashed the panel. But I want to play kind of a fun game. I want to play kind of a fun game with Adrianne because I think it's it's hard to get all of those three in one package. But maybe there is. Maybe there's a way to do it. I want to play kind of a fun game with my friends from Comic Book Live. We're going to play the dating game. And Adrianne, you're going to get to ask some questions of some of the people from Comic Book Live, but I'm going to blindfold you. So our audience is going to know who we're talking to, but you will not.
Okay,
So-
you can blindfold me, but if you wipe off my makeup, Chris Gore, I will kick your ass.
It's going to be a very loose blindfold.
Okay, woo, I'm a
It will be very loose. But here we go. Let's bring up and give them a big hand the cast of Comic Book Live as I blindfold Adrianne Curry.
I'm already technically blindfolded because of my glasses. Yay, that's perfect. It smells, Chris. Can I
Does it really?
No, I just want to breathe. There we go. Through my nose.
Let's bring them on up. Let's bring them to the stage.
Yikes. Oh, sure.
So excited to be here. I just swung in, and man, are my 8 legs tired? But there's really only 2.
Excuse him, he's from Boyle Heights.
Hello, Chris.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Good to be here.
I
Good to be
picked the
here.
girl.
Well, that was really fun. Thanks for having us. Okay.
We have 4
That was great.
contestants here trying to win Adrianne's heart. Let's ask them some quick questions for everyone. And let's start with you, contestant number 1.
Okay.
What's your biggest flaw and how do you try and overcome it?
A lot of people want me to say my temper, and that's annoying to me. But I would say my biggest flaw is probably I care too much. Like I get really involved, and I like to listen, and I like to run bath water at the perfect temperature, and it's just that I'm too detail oriented. Also, when I get angry, I turn into a giant monster.
Contestant number 2, the same question. Your biggest flaw, how do you try and overcome it?
I would have to say that my biggest flaw is how controlled I am. I have to be controlled all the time. I have to. And I just want to cut that loose sometimes, but whenever I do, hurricanes happen, tsunamis.
Why are you doing a sexy voice for this? I thought we all agreed to do our regular voices.
Quiet, contestant number 1.
Contestant number 3, same question.
My biggest flaw, and this is my sexy voice. My biggest flaw is I'm very needy. I need to attach to somebody and like completely cover them and like be one with them and obsess over them. And also, police seem to pull me over whenever I'm driving. I don't know why. DWB SM. Those are my initials.
Can I just say what my guesses are right now for those first 3?
Sure.
The first one I think is the Hulk. The second one I want to make Kerrigan from StarCraft, but that's so hard to do. And then the third one I'm like, Venom, you're everywhere. So that's what I just thought.
All right, 1 for 3. That's terrible. Okay, and the last guy.
Yeah. Contestant number 4, same question.
What was the question?
Oh, let me repeat the question for you. Your biggest flaw and how do you try and overcome it?
I have a hard time remembering things. And, I sometimes accidentally kill people I have relations with.
Okay. I think let's a couple more questions. What's your secret power in the bedroom? Contestant number 1.
Remodeling. I tend to create a new living space anytime I'm in a room. So if you wanted to open up that floor plan, maybe put a new skylight in, we could maybe try that.
Contestant number 2?
Would have to be electric stimulus. Yes, all phones and batteries are always completely charged when I'm around.
Contestant number 3.
Oh, my hands are always sticky. That might not be a good thing, but it's just true.
There's a
Oh, and we got water.
There's a gross
Which I
thing.
cannot drink because I have no mouth opening. But you can't see that, Adrianne Curry.
I can't see shit.
Oh, that's another thing, because like another superpower I have is you turn out the lights, I'm the same color as everyone else.
That's true.
Contestant number 4. Your secret power in the bedroom.
If you like getting your back scratched, and I'm really hairy and short.
Okay, Adrianne, do you want to ask any of our contestants a question? Ask each of them a question before you choose who you would like to date.
Okay, this goes for all of you, and I want you to start answering from contestant number 1. I have really pissed you off. We have been screaming back and forth. I know you have betrayed me. You have cheated on me, and you got to get rid of me. How do you kill me?
Well, I assume if you were yelling at me and I was pissed off, you'd probably already be dead. So I guess first I would resuscitate you so that we could do this exercise. And after I had given you the gift of life, I would make maybe 30 seconds of eye contact, and I would just say, "And now I take it away." And I'd pinch myself in the arm, then my arm would get huge, and I would just probably suffocate you with that. So whatever you want to get picked up, just let me know.
Contestant number 2.
Well, I'm pretty revengeful, so I'd probably sweep you up in a tornado, tear you asunder, electrify all of the pieces, and then sprinkle the ashes on New York City.
Oh my God, she could power like every vibrator I own.
Contestant number 3.
Oh, well, if you made me angry, I would shoot my sticky stuff all over you. And I'd hang you upside down, and then I would like just walk on the roof. And then after that, I would call the police. And they'd probably arrest me because I'd be profiled.
Can I ask a follow-up? Why would you walk on the roof? What would that do?
That's my thing. I dance on the ceiling like Lionel Richie.
She's just showing off.
That might be who I am. I might be, secret identity might be Lionel Richie. You never know who's under this mask.
Okay, all right.
But I'm not Lionel Richie.
Well, I'm glad we settled
I
that.
might be one of the other Commodores. You don't know.
Name one other Commodore.
Teddy.
That's true. He's right. He's right.
Teddy on every band.
Contestant number 4.
If you got mad and yelled at me, I'd probably just black out and wake up like 30 seconds later and be little pieces in the pool of blood, and I wouldn't remember how it happened. I wouldn't touch his face, though.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And then I'd probably refer to the metric system.
Any other final questions, Adrianne, before you choose?
I know who I want. I mean, I have to go with number 2 because she can power all my like councils, everything for free. And then when I get really angry at people, and like all my family's in Chicago, they're in Tornado Alley, so she'd be like, "What?" And she'd like take everyone out that I'm like. I kind of like that.
Let's remove the blindfold
Oh.
and let's meet your date.
I knew it was you.
Gore.
Oh yay! So I got 3 of 4. I don't feel so bad. I knew it was you. And you're my Hitachi magic wand needs you.
Let's say goodbye to our losers, Dr. Bruce Banner.
Thanks for having me.
And Logan. Thank you for playing Comic Book Live, folks. Give a big hand.
I don't want to be alone. I want to be, yay.
What is it?
I said I don't want to be alone.
Yoshi and Steven are joining us back on the stage. Wait, don't go far, you guys, because we have something. Don't go far, because we got some other stuff to do.
Yeah, don't go far, guys.
Don't Don't go far.
Hey guys, don't go far.
We have more fun things.
Don't go far.
And Venom, I just didn't pick you only because I recently had a nightmare about you in Puerto Rico and literally almost threw myself out of 17-story building.
That's crazy because I had a nightmare about you, girl.
Yeah. I was.
It was a wet nightmare.
Ooh. Stay away.
It's inappropriate. How dare you?
I meant that I was fighting Hydroland in the nightmare. That's all I meant by that.
It's a weird day for me.
Scary people.
I kind of do some scary people. Speaking of that, Yoshi, I'm trying to see how our next.
Really? We're gonna go there? That's what we're doing?
How our next thing is how Yoshi is gonna make our next thing kind of interesting, which I need to bring to the stage. She's here. Giselle. Is Giselle here? We're gonna do a thing that we have a lot of fun with on our PodCRASH live shows. It's fanfic theater. Give her an applause for Giselle B. Gizzy B. from the Yoshi, you have a seat on the end of the microphone.
You were Yoda last time, right? It was
we
awesome.
do a thing.
Oh,
we
no.
do a thing
I don't want to do
fanfic
this.
theater. How many
you're so
of you are fans of fanfic?
Who likes fan fiction?
Who loves fan fiction? Anyone here want to talk about your favorite fan fiction? I happen to like Star Trek fan fiction.
There's fan fiction for Big Time Rush from my show, and it is fucking creepy.
All right,
It's really creepy. It's very it's some and then Carlos got bent over by, and it's just creepy. Because we have boys on our show, like young boys, and then me. So people just make it real creepy and sexy, but it's gross. It's kind of gross.
Yoshi, do you have any favorite fanfic?
No.
That you can say.
I'm still recovering from the first question. No.
Giselle, you read a lot of fanfic even to find all this stuff. What are there recurring threads and is some of it better than other stuff? And
there are a lot of recurring threads. That of which is erotica. A lot of fan fiction pretty much is porn parodies in novelization form. It's pretty awesome.
Tell us about the fanfic that you have for us today.
Oh, wonderful. So it's a Superman fandom, but the thing is, this is an alternate universe story. See, in this universe, Superman is actually a bad guy and has decided to help Zod enslave humanity. And it's not Superman, it's simply Kal-El.
Nice. And who will we all be playing today?
Oh, well, Yoshi is going to be Lex Luthor.
But Chris, didn't we talk about this last time?
You're going to be great, Yoshi. I know you'll be great. The audience already loves you.
Oh, yeah.
Yoshi!
Yeah, only the creepy guys. All right. Oh, no.
Steven is going to be Cal.
Yeah, that's right, Superman, bitches!
Adrian is going to be the Slave Master and Feora.
I like this choice. I'm in favor of it.
And then Chris is going to be General Zod, and I will be narrating.
Great. Oh, great.
Let me give you your script, by the way. That might help.
And you know what? Let's make this more interesting. Let's bring up our comic book live people to pay. If we read this standing, we can have them because you've got to hold the paper to read the fan.
We have to have our
They can pen on your arms. Come on up, guys.
Yeah, just so you know, we have not. This is the first time I've seen this crap.
Yeah, no one has actually. We haven't read this. None of us have read this. We have no idea what we're about to read. We just know that it's Superman-related fanfic. You guys know who you're playing with, right? Whose arms are playing.
My girlfriend. I'm sorry, Todd.
Oh, well, how are we going to do this with the
So
mic?
stand up, everyone. So we're gonna have all you guys stand. You guys hold your sheet, and then they're gonna play your arms. Okay, so they'll be acting with your arms. Ready? Yoshi, come on, stand.
This seems like a really good idea.
Come on, Yoshi.
In case anyone's wondering if this is a good idea, it seems like a good idea.
I agree.
You gonna do my arms?
I'm gonna do your arms.
Whoa, hello, big papa.
Okay, so.
Oh my God, her boobs are on my back. I feel them. I'm so glad.
Oh my God, his boobs are on my back.
That's not
I can get serious. Are we
Okay, so
starting?
yeah. Here we go.
How can I serve you, my lord?
Kal-El glared at the woman.
I am in need of a slave.
Yes, my lord, of course. I have a fine selection here for you, my lord. May I ask what your requirements are, sir?
Cal paused and thought about this. After a moment, he knew exactly what he wanted to add to his collection.
Hairless.
The slave master brought a bald man, Lex Luthor. He looked promising. Cal ran his hand down the man's body, expecting every inch of him.
You are a defiant one, aren't you? Never mind. That will change. Tell me your name so I will know what to call you when I'm beating you.
Cal didn't have to finish. The sly smile and the oh-so-casual look over Lex's body told him everything he needed to know. Lex had been bought for this alien's bed.
My name is Lex.
Cal smacked him across his pretty little bald head.
Say it again, and this time finish with my master.
I can't do this. I don't need green card this much. My name is Lex, my master.
Later that night, Cal was hosting a dinner party. General Zod and Feor were his expected guests. He wanted to show off his new pet to his compatriots. Lex stood there, wearing nothing but a leather cod piece and a chain around his neck. Despite everything, Lex had a plan.
So, this is your new acquisition, Kal-El. Interesting. Come here, slave.
Lex obeyed the command. He surrendered to Zod's hands all over him.
Hairless all over? Is it natural, slave?
Yes, sir.
Yes, General Zod, you slave.
Sorry, General Zod. Yes, General Zod.
Your body is so slick, slave.
Zod was very thorough with his inspection. To Lex's dismay, he felt himself becoming aroused. Lex was confused by these feelings. They felt so wrong, but at the same time, so very right.
Very responsive, aren't you, slave? But I do not wish to deny your master his pleasure tonight. A fine specimen, Kal-El. Sit on my lap, slave.
Thank you, my lord.
He's a bit skinny for me. I could break him in minutes. In fact, we must punish him for his human behavior. But first, let's make him dance. Dance for us, slave!
Cal turned on some music. Goodbye Horses by Q Lazarus. Cal couldn't help but love earth music. Lex started to dance awkwardly to the erotic sounds.
Ooh, I love this song.
Sing, slave, sing!
I don't know what the fuck this is. What is this? I don't like music. I don't know what it is.
Really, so rape fantasy's okay, but this? This is no, we can't do this.
Say here?
Yoshi, you gotta read it. Yeah, read it, Yoshi.
Come on, Yoshi, you can do it.
Oh, goodbye, horse. What is it, horses? I'm lying over you.
As Lex stood there, feeling the music and gyrating to the tantalizing tunes and twirling his chain, he realized that he perhaps enjoyed this whole enslaving thing.
Oh, no. What does that mean? Oh, no. Hoo.
You know how to throw a good party, Cal. Now enough dancing. It is time to punish the hairless ape.
Yes, let's use the probe of Krypton.
Now this
Probe
is
is
a
the
party,
asshole.
pal.
It does not say it is asshole on here.
Sorry about that.
Cal pulled out a huge and intimidating device, the probe of Krypton. Maybe Lex spoke too soon about enslavement not sucking. Cal turned on the device and it started to move rather ferociously. Lex's eyes widened in fear. It was time to enact his escape plan after all.
All right, enough of that crap, you Kryptonian scum. I have put up with enough of your alien ways and freaky probes.
Cal, Zod, and Feor were shocked by the slave's suddenly bold tone. Lex then reached into his leather codpiece and pulled out the one thing he knew would help him with his escape, a piece of kryptonite. The three Kryptonians cowered in its presence and screamed in pain.
Damn it! I knew your cod piece couldn't be so naturally huge. I got ripped off.
Damn that hairless ape! We will get you!
You will die for this worm!
Lex stood in triumph over the weakened aliens.
Let it be known that nobody ever messed with Lex Luthor.
Before he ran off, he walked up to the weakened Cal and delicately put his hand on his face.
It could have been so good.
The end.
Good job, hands.
I feel naked without her.
You guys did real good.
My only thing is I always prefer the pronunciation Krypton. Does anyone like Krypton? Robot?
Ribbits. I like ribbits.
Batman? Anyone for Batman? Anyone like that?
Like Hugh Jackman?
Hugh Jackman? All of that? Now, Yoshi, that was obviously very uncomfortable for you. What is it about fanfic that makes you uncomfortable?
There was no rape.
Yeah, that's awesome.
There was no rape. If there was a little rape, you would have been like, oh, I'm right at home. Just the littlest bit. I keyed.
I don't know, it just makes me so uncomfortable. We talked about this last time. I don't want to do it again. And
Why do you think I keep having you in to do it? It's perfect. It's perfect for you. You love it. And Steven, you really, I gotta give everyone props except for Yoshi.
Wow.
You were great.
I'm really good at stuff, so not a big deal.
Adrian really got into it, but you were fantastic. Steven.
You know.
No, he's
really stepped up.
Trained actor.
And
Drama school actor.
And Giselle, as always, give everyone Giselle a big hand. She selects it. She reads so much fanfic, tons and tons of fanfic.
It's a lot of
find stuff
fanfiction.
that's perfect for our shows. Is there a piece of fanfic that you've read? This is a question, just my personal curiosity. That you've read where it's like this should never be read aloud anywhere.
Oh God, yes. Although I did read it aloud after.
Could you bring that in next time that we do our
Yes,
show?
it would be my pleasure. Yes.
What was it about that made it so like should never be read?
Because it was so ridiculous. Can I talk about the plot of it a bit?
Sure, please.
Yeah, please.
Spoilers.
Okay, spoiler alert. It was a crossover between Batman and RoboCop, where Batman's cousin Oliver got murdered in Detroit City. So he had to recruit the help of RoboCop. But the thing is, RoboCop saw him without his mask on, and the only way to wipe RoboCop's memory so that he wouldn't reveal his secret identity was for them to have, like, robot-human sex.
Sure, of course.
Yeah, obviously. Like, he would expel his memories in a, certain fashion. And, but the thing is, RoboCop apparently didn't bring it with him that day, so he had to, find, random metal objects to attach to himself. And he's like, no, I don't think this works. Something bigger is better. And they had to, go on an adventure together to find a proper phallic object for RoboCop.
Jeez.
Yep.
I can't believe a Batman piece of fanfic was the worst thing
Well, it's a crossover, so it's a hybrid.
Of RoboCop and Batman pornography.
Dude,
That's a pornography I would watch.
I read one once and it had little pictures with it, and it was Betty and Wilma getting it on, and Fred and Barney come home early and they're standing outside the window taking care of themselves, watching this whole thing. And at the end, the girls are like, yeah, Fred's an idiot. I haven't ever loved him and like all this stuff. And they were like, whoop, and then they're like, whir. I'm like, what a sad porno fanfic. They don't even like, they discover their wives just never love them.
It's really sad. But thank God it was just fiction.
Is that all you remember? That's all you remember of the story?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
I mean, they went shopping first, and they were spying on him because they thought they were cheating on him. So they went and they spied on him to the store, and then they went home, and then they're like, oh my God, our wives are doing it. And it's sad. Maybe I found it through like YouPorn or something. I don't know.
The slutty women of Bedrock.
Let's talk about geek culture and Comic-Con and
sure.
You know, you guys, everyone here, you guys are veterans of Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Everyone up here on the panel. What is the thing that you know? How have you seen it change? What things do you like? What things are you know? Tell me about your Comic-Con experience.
I think every year it gets bigger, and then some people are like, oh, it's more sold out. I appreciate every douchebag that likes Thor and stuff, and here's why. There will be more of these movies, the more of these idiots that are not cool like us like it. So I really hope more people spend their money on what they think is trendy, and I hope we stay trendy because we are really pumping out some movies. Not since like the 80s, Dark Crystal and Legend and Labyrinth has this ever happened before. So rejoice, my nerd, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's no signs of it slowing down. I mean, action movies were a big thing in the 80s, and it kind of died off. Mm-hmm. But superhero movies, we're going to phase 2 on Marvel stuff.
Yeah, seriously.
You know, it's amazing. Steven, what gives you a nerd boner? Let's hear it.
Well, you know, I'm a big toy collector, so being able to like see someone like be able to see like Ron English and you know like some of these guys and like get them to like sign pieces and you know my entire apartment is just covered in toys, so this is like the place I come, I load up on like really cool weird stuff I'm never gonna find anywhere else, and then you know I love that about this, and I love the fact that like you can just run into like Brett Spiner, you know, that like he's just around. Like,
I saw Mark Hamill sitting on the stairs last year and no one was bothering him. I'm like, okay, now I can say just keep walking. Because I did a panel with him later, but it's like, I'm not going to be that girl that's like, me, and then everyone's like, ah. So it's just that's fucking Mark Hamill. Okay.
Well, what's cool is like, you know, like I live in LA, like most of us up here live in LA, and like in LA, like you'll run into like celebrities from like stuff that you're a fan of, but getting a chance to like run in like to like a Wookiee, you know, or like an Ewok, or someone from like a you know robot or something from Battlestar Galactica. Like you're not gonna run into that walking around in Hollywood. And that's the stuff I'm a real fan of. Like I'm a fan of like the characters, not as much the actors. So getting to like see people, you know, who like spend. I know a couple that live in Carlsbad near my mom's house down here they own a gas station. And this husband and wife, and they converted the garage where they would like you know fix up cars. Neither of them know how to fix up cars. They turned the entire garage into a studio to build costumes for Comic-Con, and they spend the entire year, this husband and wife team, building massive, giant, amazing, like crazy, incredible costumes. And then they do it just so they can like come here and do it.
Are they adopting?
They should, man. It's really cool. Like you don't. That's you know.
Well, aside from your own character from Big Time Rush and Rancor Keeper from Return of the Jedi, other things have been cosplayed.
I'm not dressed as the Rancor Keeper today.
For the Rancor Keeper.
Rancor Keeper.
He was so sad.
Why did he die? Why did you kill him? We were saying yesterday I should just set up a booth that just says Rancor Keeper behind me and just sign autographs for that part.
We're actually running short on time, unfortunately. I want to get to Yoshi and Giselle, and then if anyone has questions, we'll take questions at the very end, so head up to that microphone there. But Yoshi, your experience of Comic-Con, because you've been coming for years as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out which the most appropriate thing to.
Did you say the most inappropriate
no,
thing? Because I would love if you would do that. That would be hilarious.
I am shocked. I think '89 was my first year, and it was more campy back then. I do like smaller size of it back then. I think it was more comic books actually.
He's Asian, so he looks 22. But yeah, 1989.
Yeah. But she's great with all the outfit. You're perfect, Adrian. But there's times.
Supreme being perfect.
No, but you look great. But there's times where someone's way off that they shouldn't be dressed in a certain outfit. Like today, I saw this girl with Princess Leia outfit, and you know how the string part right here. Do you ever get like those giant sausage? You got string wrapped around that, right? You know what I'm talking about? I think if you have a can of ham sticking on the side, maybe Princess Leia is not for you. Maybe Jabba the Hutt. Just like I don't buy magnet condoms, but so women looks great for most part, but God, if you're a guy 25 years old and dressing those, God, you gotta register for register sex offender or something.
Dude, I'm a fat guy. You're not gonna see me coming as Boba Fett. Like, it doesn't look good. Fat Boba Fett in a wheelchair is a bad look. Just in case you're here, please next year something else.
Stuff like that. I should just stop right there, right? Yeah.
Perfect, Yoshi. Giselle?
400 pounds Boba Fett in a wheelchair. You ain't flying anywhere, Boba Fett.
So, you've cosplayed quite a bit at our shows at I.O. West in Hollywood.
Yeah, I cosplayed for your shows, but I've actually never cosplayed for Comic-Con because it's so hot here that it's like I just don't want to deal with it. But yeah, I've cosplayed Princess Leia from Star Trek, but as far as my experiences here, the first time I came to Comic-Con was 9 years ago. And by that point, it was still pretty popular, not as ridiculous as it is now, but it's just, even though it can get really big and sometimes tiresome being through the crowds, at the end of the day, it's really awesome to meet, your own people, meet people talking about your fandom, and especially people across the country and across the world. It's really awesome to see your own.
Good answer.
I agree. It's the uniting the nerd tribes all here. Like, you like Transformers, I like Star Wars, you like Star Trek. I don't care. We're all here because we love this stuff. Unfortunately, we got to wrap it up because there's another panel coming in here. But I just want to say thank you to everyone. What's that? You have time for what?
Ask one question.
Time for one last question. A question from the audience. We have time for one question. It's got to be the awesome question. Dude, right there. I love your hair. Can you stand up and get to the microphone? Run to the microphone. Run like your life dependent. Run like there's stormtroopers after you. Sir, what is your question to end the panel?
Have you seen?
Just yell at us.
When you said you dressed up as Princess Leia from Star Trek.
Or, sorry, did I say
You meant Star Wars, right?
Did I say that?
You said Star Trek.
Did I say that? Oh my God, I'm blasphemous.
She's a witch.
She turned me into fail.
And this is why we're nerds. We are very detail-oriented. We are very detail-oriented people. And I love that about you and everyone here. So I want to thank Comic-Con for bringing me back and having me do this for you guys. I want to thank the audience here. I hope to see you all at my party, 525 5th Street, tomorrow night. It's going to be a blast. I want to thank the Adrianne Curry. Give her a big hand. Glickman, Yoshi, Obayashi, Giselle P, and the cast of Comic Book Live, Tommy Beckles, Sophia McCarthy, Derek Lee, Patrick, Ian Gore. Give them a big hand.
You know what I'm talking about.
Live, one of these shows at iOS. Go to cosplaycomedy.com. And the last thing I want to say is let's get out of here. Thank you.
Adrian, I didn't know about your background. Sorry.
Oh, no. I make fun of rape all the time because I can, because I've been raped.
What, can I keep my card?
Chris, don't feed it people. Todd, will you keep this?
Yoshi, I think you have some explaining to do. I think you might want to explain. See, here's what's funny is I feel like that theory that you have.
Funny.
The theory that you have is not a good. That's an entire topic for a panel.
Sure.
The theory being that genre fiction is popular with women because rape fantasies are things that it's been documented that some women have rape fantasies.
Sure.
So a safe way to experience those types of fantasies is via fiction, where you're being taken, you're
by
succumbing to
paranormal forces. Sure.
Yeah, paranormal forces. You're being taken. You're succumbing to a vampire or a werewolf or some unearthly creature,
Sure.
and you're being forced against your will to give into them, whether it be romantically, sexually, whatever. And that's a safe way to experience those types of things. I think that might have been a better topic for. I also think it'd be a better topic if a woman brought that up. I don't think that you and I should actually be talking about this stuff.
I don't mind.
I think that it's an uncomfortable thing, and I think that you brought up that there was a professor that
Ogi Ogas.
Could you explain this?
He wrote a book called.
Who is it again?
He used to be a former professor.
Who is the guy?
Ogi Ogas.
Ogi
Ogas.
Ogi Ogas. He sounds like a character from a George Lucas, a minor character in the upcoming Star Wars sequels. Anyways, okay, so Ogi has Ogas did.
He wrote a book called A Billion Wicked Thoughts.
A Billion Wicked Thoughts. Okay, and so what are some of the wicked thoughts?
No. Basically, he's explored human sexuality and desires through 1 billion internet searches.
Interesting.
He had access to them because traditionally when you do any sexual and desire studies in past, you use simple pool of groups of people, which is if you're a professor at university, you use college students. Mm-hmm. But that's pretty limited because most of them back then, like Kinsey did it, it was basically middle, upper class, white, waspy folks. Mm-hmm. But that is very small sample. So what Ogi and his partner Sai did was they had access to 1 billion internet search throughout the whole world, Asia, Africa, Latin America, and so on and so forth. And after a while, you get certain patterns of internet search by men and women, and it's a completely different kind of.
Give me an example.
What kind of stuff?
From conclusions from the study.
Well, for one thing, women do not care about porn. At all. Those visual sexual cues, that's very little to women. What it does is they need to have psychological cues. So when we talk about women loving fan fiction, women liking vampire novels, they get their satisfaction of their psychological needs through those books and fan fiction and things like that.
I feel like if we're talking about this, though, we need to have someone to comment that is basically a non-penis person. We need a woman here addressing this and commenting on it for us to have validity to this entire conversation, even. But I hear what you're saying. I mean, there's no doubt. First of all, point of fact, genre fiction that involves creatures. Sort of invading a woman's life in a way that affects her, that is popular.
Sure.
That is an empirical fact. The reasons for it being successful, I think, can be argued. But his theory is that it's successful and it's popular because women secretly harbor rape fantasies. Is this what you're saying?
No. It's just men, when we explore our desires and needs, it's got to be visual because men are more visual than women. That's why pornography, men are the huge consumers of pornography, not women. In fact, what is it, CC Bill? They're in charge of keeping track of credit payment by credit cards. Mm-hmm. And whenever anyone tried to pay porn subscription service monthly basis and it has a women's name on credit card, it's a red flag because it's vast majority of people who buy porn are men and not women. So he exposed. I mean, I'm not doing a good job of explaining what Ogi is coming from.
You're doing a terrible job.
But I do believe fan fiction and romance novels are just. They're bigger than porn industry. When you go Amazon, things like that, where women love reading those romance
Well,
novels.
look at 50 Shades of Grey. I mean, that thing is...
She was a fan fiction of Twilight series and created those characters based on Twilight. And and the 50 Shades take place in Seattle because the Twilight series is always in Seattle too. So, women are amazing. I would like to meet somebody who writes fan fiction because when you guys were talking about it, I know so little about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, but you do know a lot more now, having participated in some fanfic theater, which I think I actually think that the fanfic theater was the highlight of the entire panel. I mean, we kind of the conversation kind of petered out at the end, but I think that our discussion, the fanfic stuff was funny. The games were hilarious.
But what Adrianne said when we tried to bring out subject matter, that really shocked me because I didn't know anything about it.
Well, didn't you say that you used a part of it in like a stand-up routine after? Like, what happened?
You guys heard just now. So when I talk about rape fantasy and whatnot, and when Adrianne said she was raped, I got instant hard on. And people don't want to hear that. But in the comedy club, they couldn't stop laughing because
that is so inappropriate.
Inappropriate, but that's just a natural reaction for a lot. I mean, maybe not for you, but a lot of guys.
It's not for me. It's not for me.
Yeah, well, it is for me, for sure.
Oh, my God, Yoshi.
No, I'm not saying I'm glad she got raped. I'm not saying that. But as soon as you say that, I don't stop my thoughts, It's just... I'm conflicted.
Stop your thoughts.
It's a terrible thing, but...
I can't agree with you on this.
Great. Anyway, This is my last time on PodCRASH.
Yeah, I was going to say. All right, well, first of all, I want to thank you for listening to the show. I want to thank everyone from the San Diego Comic-Con, everyone who attended the panel, the panelists, Adrianne Curry, Stephen Kramer Glickman. I don't want to thank Yoshi Obayashi for being on the panel and for being here today. And I think you actually made it worse. I think you actually might have made your argument even worse now. You have to think of a better way maybe to explain this. I understand the theory, but I think there's a better way to explain that theory, which might not be you and I talking about it. I think we need.
Obviously, I don't have time, but this is what Ogie talks about.
Yeah, we're running out of time, folks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We got to. No, we're not. It's a podcast. We can talk as long as we want.
It just Ogie pick up his book, but he explained transsexuals.
A Billion Wicked Thoughts.
Yeah, transsexual is an erotic optical illusion for men, and he'll explain why men are attracted to females even though they're not gay, and female thought has nothing to do with being gay, just like. The main vampire character from Twilight is erotic optical illusion for women because that vampire character, Edward Collins, he has all the psychological cue that is attractive to women, and he explored that too.
I can't. Okay. I can't believe we're talking about Twilight on this show.
I actually like the movies. I watched the movies. I didn't think I would hate it, but I really enjoyed it a lot. But when Yogi explained why women attracted Edward Collins, it's really fascinating and interesting. Highly recommended. A Billion Wicked Thoughts. And I also interviewed him for my podcast. So Anyways, I also have to thank Giselle B. from the Defective Geeks, and really big thanks to the Comic Book Live, my colleagues at Comic Book Live. They really, really killed it on the panel. Derek Reed, Patrick Ian Moore, Tommy Bechtel, Markia They're
McCarty.
amazing.
They're amazing. Check out them, Facebook.com/comicbooklive, or follow them on Twitter at comicbook_live, or just look up cosplaycomedy.com with all the links. Thank you for being on the show, Yoshi. And listen to Yoshi and I on Yoshi Didn't.
Yes.
I'm
looking forward to talking to you because I have so much questions for you.
There's going to be a lot more to talk about. And go to podcrash.net for all your PodCRASH needs. Follow me at that Chris Gore. Follow the show at PodCRASH Show.
Buy his book.
And buy Celebrities Poop. Go to celebrityspoop.com. Thank you for listening. And let's get out of here.
It's nice.
We thought you were dead.
Where's Flynn?
It was incredible. He threw himself into the beam and distracted the MCP just long enough for you to get the disc in. He saved us. He really did it.
Video warriors, look at the I.O. tower. Every tower is lighting up.
Hey, if you're still listening to this, you're probably a lot like me. You're the kind of person that goes to things like Comic-Con and waits in line a lot. And you end up making friends with people that you meet in line, and you see them the next year, and you guys are friends, and you save places in line for them because it's so much fun to bond over nerdy stuff. And if you're like that, you and I are a lot alike, and I like you. For that, you shall be rewarded. Send a self-addressed stamped envelope to PodCRASH with that Chris Gore, 5042, Wilshire Boulevard, PMB 1500, Los Angeles, California, 90036. You will be rewarded with the PodCRASH Fan Club Kit absolutely free. All you need to do is send a self-addressed stamped envelope. Thanks for listening. Later.